that had a 100th birthday celebration in the can, still released the whole thing, I think, as is. This goes to show you that even at the highest levels of corporate communication, they've just fired too many editors. They have too many people who didn't go back and go, hey, maybe we should redo this. They're like, no, we've had it in the can for months. A lot of work went into this. So Betty White would have been 100 years old yesterday. And also some hay being made out of the fact that somebody pointed out that the Sex and the City girls are the same age as the girls in the Golden Girls. About how the story was about how, like, women in their 50s, the perception of them has changed. It's a little misleading because the women in Golden Girls were playing women in their 50s. Whereas the Sex and the City girls, I didn't watch this reboot, by the way. I was unabashedly a Sex and the City fan back in the day. This new one didn't hook me. I'm kind of over it. My wife watched it, and she's like, it's okay. But the Golden Girls women were playing women in their 50s, whereas the girls in Sex and the City are actually in their 50s. But they were, and plus, the Golden Girls all looked like grandmothers, right? At that time in the 80s. Yeah. They all had, like, your grandma's hair and dresses, and nobody's going to, 50s or not, and nobody's going to confuse Sarah Jessica Parker or Kristen Davis or Cynthia Nixon for your grandmother, even though Cynthia Nixon's let herself go gray. But they're all in their mid-50s.
Right. Like Blanche was the one that was the most promiscuous, and her fashion was the more trendy of all the ladies on the show, and she still looks matronly. Yeah,
Rue McClanahan was the youngest of that group. First season of the Golden Girls was 1985. So Rue McClanahan was 51 years old. She was a year older than I am now. But Betty White and Bea Arthur were 63 years old, and Estelle Getty was 62. So Rue McClanahan on the Golden Girls, I did all the math on this morning. Rue McClanahan on this show, she was like the slut, right? She was like, I don't think they ever used that word, but she was like the stereo. I feel like she was a trollop.
Hussy.
Trollop, yes. Trollop's a great word.
She was a trollop. And that was the stereotype on that show. That's how they got into, like, very progressive,
themes for sure.
Yeah, AIDS and homosexuality, all that kind of stuff. But Betty White and Bea Arthur were both early 60s, as was Estelle Getty. They had to make Estelle Getty look way older, but she was the same age as those other girls. But so they were playing younger, whereas the Sex and the City girls, But it spawned all these think pieces about how women in their 50s are different now and blah, blah, blah. All of that's true. But if you look at that first season Golden Girls cast pick, you're like, they all had grandma hair. If you did Sex and the City and gave those girls
grandma hair,
Bea Arthur's hair,
they should do an episode where
I would love that. Yes,
I'd watch that episode.
Somebody Photoshop that for me right now. Put those girls in like Golden Girls clothes and hair. It should be a real easy chop job. But Sarah Jessica Parker, she's from middle of Nowheresville, Ohio. She's from out in a town called Nelsonville, which is 1 hour from Columbus and 1 hour from the west from the West Virginia border. It's right next to Muntsbury.
That Nelson Muntz.
So Sarah Jessica Parker is from the Buckeye State. The other girls, I think, born and raised in New York. But I was like, this is a little misleading. Like, I get what they're doing in there, whatever, but those women were older on the Golden Girls.
But not by much.
But again, even that, 63 is not elderly. So they were playing like weird divorced or widows or whatever. But yeah, Rue McClanahan was 51 years old on the first season of that show.
Well, that also goes to show you how different TV was back then, where women in those age groups weren't getting roles on television unless they were playing like Mona on.
Yes.
Like they're playing grandma characters, and for them to all have lives and be dating and all that stuff was very, very different than anything else that was on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Just grandmas don't date.
I mean, how old was Katherine Hellman on Who's the Boss? She would have been
probably in her late 40s.
Yeah, something like that.
Early 50s, maybe.
Yep.
Mona. Angela.
Because she was on Soap. When I was a kid, there was a show called Soap that was a parody of a soap opera. And my parents Loved this show. It was famous for Billy Crystal playing the first gay character on television. He played a guy named Jody. Billy Crystal was the first gay man on television. And Soap was Katherine Hellman and this actor Robert Guillaume, who had a show called Benson, which was the one spinoff of Soap was Benson, the butler. They go, this guy's pretty funny. And he was. First television appearance of one Jerry Seinfeld was on a show called Benson. And so those were the shows I was watching when I was a kid, like late 70s, early 80s, like Three's Company. And you didn't know how old these people were. And when I was a kid, if these people were 40 years old, they might as well have been 100.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also people looked older back then. If you go back and watch those old shows and someone like Columbo, I think when that show started, he was in his mid-30s, maybe late 30s.
He just looked perpetually disheveled.
Old. Like, he just always looked like an old man.
Yeah. Because Who's the Boss predated the Golden Girls by a season. That went on the air in 1984. And so Katherine Hellman was 55 years old. And she was the saucy mom on there. I had seen her in this movie called Brazil. Remember Brazil? Terry Gilliam, Robert De Niro was in it.
I don't think I ever actually watched it.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste.
Right?
Yeah, but Katherine Hellman was in that. She had her face stretched in that movie.
Well, so was Carrie Bradshaw. Not in that movie, just over the years.
That one. Yeah, God bless Cynthia Nixon. Her big move was, I'm going to let my hair go gray. Those other women were like, they've had some work done. I saw the new
Charlotte?
Especially Charlotte. Yeah.
I saw the new Scream this weekend. And
the new what?
Scream.
Scream.
There's a new Scream
movie. Is it good?
Yeah.
I heard it's full of twists and turns.
It was good.
I never got into those movies.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
It was, a nice homage with, they did a good job with it. It was fun. It was very tense at times, which is what they're going for.
Uh-huh.
But Courtney Cox is in it, and her face is just, I feel like her during Cougar Town, her face was weird looking. I feel like it's gotten back to like a little bit more normal, but it's still, she looks more like Jim Carrey than she looks like Courtney Cox now.
When we had to pull over and get a hotel room on Saturday night in Pennsylvania and got into the room and we were just kicking it and clicking around on TV, TBS was showing like a bunch of Friends episodes, like season 2 Friends, or like 93, 94, whatever that was. And I'm like, oh my God, Courtney Cox. Like,
it's just such a bummer because
it's not even a bummer. It's just like you get older, and I get it. You're trying to be like an actress in Hollywood. No one would wish that on anybody. Because a lot of women don't do anything. Because they're just...
Like who?
Helen Mirren. I mean, she looks amazing. So there are plenty of women who just, I think, age better. But there are also women who think they don't look good. So like, I got to do something with this. And Courtney Cox, when you go back... Listen, you take 30 years off anybody and you're going to go, oh my God. I mean, I see old pictures of myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's an okay looking dude. What happened? But if you actively do stuff to your face, that's a whole other thing.
Well, that's why it's good to be a train wreck in your 20s. So then when you lose some weight or, just learn how to dress better, you go, hey, look who's doing okay.
I mean, the Amy Schumer story, right? Amy Schumer's back is trending today because she got lipo to get to 170. So Amy Schumer's like, I'm on top of the world.
Good for her.
Because she had lipo to get to 170.
How tall is she? Like 6'2"?
She's always been like not bigger, but she's like
bigger.
Tall, and she described herself, I think, in one special as sturdy. I think the joke goes, you look like you could take a punch, I think is what she says.
She looks like she's from the Midwest.
Yeah.
And she lives there now, I think, but she is not, and she's not 6'1". I mean, she's, she's like 5'6" or something, and she's had a kid.
Yeah.
That'll do it too.
I think she's had a couple now. I think this may be...
No, she's only had one.
Oh, excuse me.
She looks good.
Okay.
Yeah, she famously had to not name her kid. She wanted to name her kid Jean Attell, after Dave Attell. And somebody pointed out to her, that sounds a lot like genital.
Yeah.
Which, boy, I got to tell you, that is a stretch.
Oh, happy birthday, Dave Attell.
Yeah, Dave Attell today. But that is a stretch. Jean Attell, people
It's
go,
pretty
it sounds
close.
like... First of all, who's going to know the kid's middle name? You're just going to call him Jean.
Yeah, but all of her family... The kid himself.
Jean Attell. I mean, I thought that was a weird, I guess it's probably better to just steer clear of the whole thing.
Right.
But no matter what your name is, people are going to make fun of it.
Why not just name him Dave?
Right. Yeah, right. David in the middle.
Dave Schumer, or whatever her married name is. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. Anytime you want to leave a message there, you can certainly do that. It is 216-986-8903.
Hey, Alan, it's Drunk Sue. Hey, listen, it's about 12:15, and I was just listening to some of the old stuff because I didn't get a chance to because I wasn't feeling good. I was wondering, how come I cannot find rigmarole in a dictionary? Because you used it in the sentence. But I can find rigor mortis. What? How come rigmarole, which is a popular word, everybody knows what that is? Okay? Just checking.
All right, there's Drunk Sue. Checking it from the weekend. Thank you,
Where's
Sue.
the dictionary anymore?
She wants to know why Alan didn't put it in the dictionary.
Today's National Thesaurus Day, so if you don't feel comfortable with rigmarole, you can go with bother or fuss or what? Hush that fuss. Commotion, yeah.
Is it
Boulder roll?
Is it thesaurus the thing that holds all the nouns?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's the noun holder.
It's the thing that holds all the synonyms for words, yes.
Okay.
No,
You never
it
had a-
holds every noun.
You never is a Roget's Thesaurus still a thing? The book that was like the Bible of. Anyway, I think what Drunk Sue is referring to is I've said rigmarole before. The actual word is rigmarole, which is why she probably can't find it. It's R-I-G, but it's one of those words that's so frequently mispronounced that you just have to get on board with that. Like when I used to say karaoke, everybody would make fun of me because I sound like an a-hole. They go, it's karaoke, or I go, okay, fine, you know. Rigmarole is the word, but I think when it's said, it sounds like there's an extra vowel in there. But again, I don't know what time of day she left that voicemail.
She said 12:15.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm assuming AM.
That's my guess.
Yeah. And that's what she's...
But with Drunk Sue, you never know.
You
don't
never
know.
know. She's trying to figure out why she couldn't find
Why?
rigmarole in the... But if you go back and look for...
I would like Poundcake
Rigmarole.
to expound further on the noun holder.
The thing that holds the nouns.
I thought thesaurus was a book that holds person, places, things, or ideas.
Holds in what manner?
Like that's what it was
Contains?
full. Yeah, that's what it was full of.
Contains them.
Person, places, things, and ideas. That's what I thought.
Oh, you thought it was only nouns.
Yeah.
It's just synonyms.
He thought that the thesaurus was just a list of every noun.
Hey, I'm happy you didn't think it was a dinosaur. I mean,
Fine.
that's growth.
Is it?
It's synonyms. It's antonyms.
Okay.
They've added a lot. There's idioms now in the
Wait.
thesaurus, and
What's a synonym, Poundcake?
Things that are different words that mean the same thing.
Hey,
Yes, I know that.
well, he knows that. He's a college graduate.
I mean, he just stole
I know. I'm
thesaurus
trying
once.
to give him the. I mean, I'm trying to. But it is not just nouns. I've got to give you $1,000 here for you. $1,000 is what you might call it if you wanted to use a. It's a chance to go fund yourself. Listen closely and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword GREEN at WMMS.com. That's green. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
There you go.
That reminds me of a meme that used to go around where it was like a Facebook post and it said, I love synonym rolls. And then someone commented, just like grammar used to make.
Yeah, synonym rules. But even things like, if they're not giving you synonyms, a thesaurus will have things like, they'll just have idiomatic expressions. It'll have things like smokes like a chimney or raining cats and dogs, just things that are kind of...
So not just nouns.
Well, definitely not just nouns, no. I have to think you had a thesaurus in college, Poundcake. People have them for writing papers, and they're always I can't use that
that's
word. That
online.
sounds.
It's all
Is it online now?
And
I
you
didn't
can like right click it if you're writing a paper. You hit right click and hit,
gives you all the
and you can
synonyms.
just literally right click thesaurus and it'll show you all the synonyms.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't think I had Grammarly. We had something else. We had like a, well, at least I did. I had like a little workshop on my laptop. So no, I didn't have any paper dictionaries or thesauruses or anything like that.
Huh.
No.
Okay. Because I would think, a lot of people used thesauruses for especially people that were pulling, it's called plagiarism. People were pulling huge chunks from other people's work, and they would have to
Go through,
massage it and go, well, clearly that's not, the teacher's going to know that's not a word I would use.
Right.
It's way too smart of a word. So people would use thesauruses to look for dumber words. Not dumber words, just more
different,
commonly
yeah.
used words.
But
right.
again, you can really do that, and you right-click and it shows you all the synonyms for that word. So it's all on my laptop.
Gotcha.
It's made it real easy. Save money.
Save money, sure.
On a book.
And now,
energy.
and now everybody's using that Grammarly and all that stuff, right? They're just browser extensions that pop up when you're writing something.
Yep.
You still got to know how to write, though. That's the only thing. Like, boy, I mean, I know everything. You know, people make jokes about like those teachers said, math teachers in grammar school said we're not always going to have a calculator on us, and now we do. Ha ha ha. It's like, yeah, but you still got to know how to put things together.
I would just like to point out that all of Cody's early Poundcakes, before it was just the podcast, his articles that he would write, all went through Grammarly. And we got gems like menus to society, because technically those are all words. And so
They are actual words.
the computer's not going to catch that.
But what was the word that he screwed up, but he still used it properly?
Hell if I
A
know.
couple of weeks ago, remember? We were
Hell if I know.
we were breaking his balls because, it was suffix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said the word suffice was suffix.
Yeah.
And he used it in the podcast, but he used it properly.
But he knows what it means. He's just
That's
never
what
heard
bends
it,
my brain into a pretzel,
Yeah.
is when he knows what the word is, uses it properly,
but can't say it.
mispronounces it. I mean, that's a fun little twist on mangling the language. Because language is fluid. People give people a hard time for using emojis. It's like, they're just hieroglyphics. We've just come full circle.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily my thing, but, I use them a hell of a lot more than I used to. Because it's always changing. But suffix
Suffix.
is
Gotta stay
goddamn
hip.
fantastic. It's beautiful.
Waylon Jennings.
Oh, God, we got to call on that. We got to call about Waylon Jennings.
Should we do some?
Oh, I
should we
forgot
do some
about that.
trivia real quick?
Well, let me play that call for you. And,
Like, is that me?
Oh, what did they call? People are telling me they call Blanche a slut a lot. Is that what this is?
I just
Yes.
sent you a video of it. Yeah.
Remember this man, he says you seriously dated. I mean, how many boyfriends could a naive farmer's daughter possibly have had? 56. Excuse me? I had about 56 boyfriends. Of course, that was before I knew Charlie. I probably would have had more, but I wasn't allowed to start dating till I was a senior. 56. 56?
Oh, God, stand back. She's gonna blow.
What do you mean you had 56 boyfriends? You told me you were a virgin till you got married. Hey, you can have a boyfriend without having to go all the way. You cannot. If that were true, Rose, that would mean you were a slut.
Oh, come on, Blanche. How can you say that? So the woman had 56 boyfriends in 1 year. She's not a slut.
Thank you, Doris.
She is the slut.
Yeah, but they're calling her that.
They're calling-
Did they
yeah.
call Blanche a slut in this show?
I don't know. That's
They're
just the one that
doing it
someone
for.
sent me.
I was gonna say they're using this for comedic effect because that Betty White character is so not that.
Right.
If they were to slut shame Blanche Devereaux,
That's different.
little on the nose.
She's the grand poobah of slut. She is the easiest woman in this room.
Dorothy Spornak, you take that back.
The slut is dead. Long live the slut.
See, Blanche liked being known as a woman of loose morals. I love all these synonyms, Poundcake. Easy virtue,
That you would find
loose
in a thesaurus.
in a thesaurus.
Okay, listen up. I've got man trouble and I need advice from someone with experience. I'll be happy to help. I hear you're a tramp, Rose. Mama was right. Word gets around fast.
Aha! Well, there you go. Biggest slut. 1992. That show was on that long?
Yeah.
Must be towards the end. Jesus. Okay, listen, I've got to take a break here. If you want to text for anything, 35192. Listen wherever you are on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on